Hi, everybody, and welcome back to our ecology unit. As you know, we are not coming back to school, but we are going to push forwards with ecology, picking up where we kind of left off last time. Now, as many of you know, you were working on your Protect Our Planet presentations to the president, but he was not really listening to you because he didn't believe in the science behind what we were saying. So we were kind of closed off from him. But the reality is that having not finished your presentations, we actually did have a problem here in Los Angeles. Right underneath the hills of Hollywood, an actual volcanic eruption did unfortunately go off, and things got pretty bad in a hurry. There was fire flying from the grounds and buildings were blowing up. We had a pretty bad situation. A volcano about the same size as Mount Helen started growing right in the middle of Los Angeles itself. Lava was flowing down the streets. People did whatever they could to stop it, but the problem was immense and the volcano continued to grow. We ended up with a very bad situation, and almost everything in the area was destroyed. All land and all farms and all crops, and most people in the area had to flee, and things did not go very well. What was left behind was essentially total devastation with just a few pockets of green, but ultimately we had a bad situation for California, which used to be such a beautiful environment, and now we have nothing but dust and individuals competing for resources, and things have not gone well. So this brings us to our ecology unit, and if you remember from before you did a little bit of chemistry, we started you with some ecology talking about the difference between abiotic and biotic resources. These are the things that we as living beings have to rely on for survival. These would be called resources. A resource for us is basically any necessity of life, such as water, nutrients, light, food, space, anything. If you remember from last year in 6th grade, you had to learn that we need the 4 basic necessities of life, being food, space, air, and a place to live. Now that can be broken down into abiotic, which means non-living. So if you put a in front of a word, it tends to mean that it doesn't do something or it doesn't mean something. So abiotic means not alive, a non-living part of the ecosystem. Biotic means anything that is alive as part of the ecosystem. So let's take a look at what some of those might be. If we are rebuilding our environment after a volcanic eruption, we've got nothing but one busted little house and some dust and ash left behind. So in order to get that up and running, we need some abiotic resources that are going to be able to put our system back into place. So we would need fresh air. We need all those poisonous gases to be blown out of the area, and we need some fresh oxygen and fresh air for us to be able to breathe. Otherwise, we're going to need soil. So the soil as well is going to be something that we can use to plant things in. Plants are going to need sunshine, which you remember from the photosynthesis unit, that's going to be a major contributor. So all the dust and clouds have to clear out of the air, allowing us to have sunshine. We're definitely going to need some fresh water. So we're going to have to find a place near some kind of a water source. Now, with that being said, we've got to start thinking about the biotic resources. Believe it or not, one of the most important things for us for survival is these little decomposers and worms. If you've ever run out into the garden behind the classroom, you'll know that we've got hundreds of worms out there that we help to use to grow the garden back there. Once we have those worms and the soil is nice and rich, we can start to plant out some seeds for some life forms to be able to grow in there. And those seeds will start to obviously grow into plants. The plants will attract some bees. So now we've got these other relationships happening between plants and animals. And my question is, what is all of this going to be called? This would be called our ecosystem. So if I were to ask you this right now, what does ecosystem mean to you? So if you can, pause the video right now and think about what is the ecosystem that you live in? What is the ecosystem of the area that you live in? Think about the animals, the birds, the plants. Where is there a water source? Where is the air coming from? Do we have clean air? Pause the video for a moment right now and think that question through. Okay, so to come back again, we are looking at an ecosystem, which is a biological community of interacting organisms and their physical environment. So that was just a quick rehash of what the first part of the performance expectation looked like for abiotic versus biotic relationships. Now we're going to have you watch a video that's a little bit more interactive because we're going to do it through Edpuzzle, in which you will have a chance to do some thinking about how these animals all interact with each other. All right, so thank you very much. And see how we do.